think making a top takes hours? Think again. I'll show you how to do it in just 20 minutes. Using your basic bodice pattern, we will transform it into a stylish top using very few steps. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced sewist looking for a simple project, this is for you. So grab your tools and let's get started. Hi, my name is Catherine and I make sewing simple. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will show you how to take your basic bodice pattern and create a top that you will add to your wardrobe to wear over and over again. So let's get sewing. To get started, we will need our back and front of our pattern that we would have cut on the fold. We will also need our neckband and our two sleeves. So now that we have that, let's get sewing. Place your back bodice right sides together at the shoulder and you are going to pin that. Going to pin both shoulders. Then we are going to take this to our machine and we are going to sew at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So let's do that now. Make sure to back stitch at the beginning and at the end. I'm going to trim it down to a little over 1/4 inch. I'm going to do the same for both of them. If you have a serger, you could use your serger. You don't have to use your sewing machine. The material that I chose for this is just a knit fabric, and it has it's on one side it's just plain, on the other side it has like that a texture. Okay, so now that we have both of our shoulders sewn, what we're going to do is we're going to insert our sleeves. And how I'm going to do that today, I'm going to do that using the flat method. I'm going to lay out your top, and we know that this is the front because it has the pin in it. So we're going to take our sleeves, and you should have 2 sleeves, and you're going to put a pin there, and I'm going to put, now this is a double brush poly, and this is just to give it a little design. So this is a scrap that I would have had from when I made that would have been my January makes. I would have made a dress from this exact fabric. I will link that in the iCards. So you just pin it together and it should go in relatively easy, but this is stretched, so you could stretch it to fit. I'm going to do this for both sleeves, and then we are going to sew it together. When I sew, I don't really use all of these pins, but as a beginner, use as much pins as you think you need. Okay, so that's one sleeve down. So I'm going to do this to the next sleeve, and then I will show you how to sew it, and then we'll move on to the next step. I am using a zigzag stitch because this is a knit fabric. Sleeve down and one to go. So we'll do the exact same thing to the other side. I'm going to now stitch the other sleeve the same way we did the first one. You're all up close and personal on my stubby fingers. It's okay. Students call them sausages. I don't take offense though, but that's what they call them because they're so fat. But I love them. I'm hoping that you could see against the white. I'm hoping you could see that. Okay, so we have 2 sleeves down, and now I'm going to trim them about 1/4 of an inch. That way we could reduce some of the bulk. And I'm going to use my pinking shears for that. And this way I am finishing off my seam. Now make sure you only trimming the sleeve. You don't want to cut into your shirt because that would be a tragedy. I have done that 1 or 2 times before, so that's why I could tell you. So just take your time and be careful. That would be all of your hard work down the drain. If you have a serger, you can also use your serger to finish off the raw edges. So I'm going to do the exact same thing for the other side. We are going to stitch up our side seams. I'm going to continue to pin that. Make sure that everything aligns properly. Okay, that's one side down. Let's do the other side. Once we finish stitching up our side seam, then we are going to move on to our neckband. You don't have to push your garment. The machine will do the work. Its work for you. The feed dogs will do its job. Okay, so now that we have gotten to this point, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go and try on your top to see if you need to make any adjustments. I want to try my top on to see if there's anything I need to take in or make any adjustments, or hopefully it's going to be perfect. And then I'm going to come back and then we will move on to the next step. I'm going to now trim that down to 1/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to show you the next step. In order for you to figure out what size neckband you need, I want to measure straight around the neck. Okay, so that's 25. We'll multiply 25 by 0.8 to get 80% of that, and that should give me about 20. This is my band, and I'm going to measure that. Half of 20 is 10, and then we have to add our seam allowance, so I'm going to cut that to 10.5. I'm going to now take this to my machine, and I'm going to stitch with that same 1/2 inch that we left. Turn it back to its right sides kissing. She doesn't do what okay, she didn't do it. She behaved herself, because normally double brush poly, the machine has a tendency to want to eat it up, but it didn't do it this time. Thank you, Jesus. All right, so we're going to now 1/4 our band so that it can be in place to make it easier for me. I'm so glad it's the weekend. God is so good. It's been a rough week, but God is still awesome. And now this gives me time to focus on things that I need to do, because during the week it's kind of hard to get anything done, especially being a teacher. All right, so we have 1 pin, 2 pins, and we're going to take that and we're now going to put those 2 together. I'm sure I probably told you how to do this before, but this is for those new persons who are joining me. So now we're going to put a pin here, and then we're going to put a last pin right here, and we're going to do the same exact thing for the top, but I want to show you something. We'll put that aside. Now when you do the top, you would think that your shoulder seams are where your points should be, but that's not really accurate. So we're going to put our shoulder seams together, and we're going to find, this is the back and this is the front. And how we always know the front is deeper than the back. So we're going to put a pin there, and then we're going to find the back, and we're going to put a pin there, and then here's how we're going to get our next 2 points, because most of the time the shoulders are not where the points are. So let's see where they are. So in this case, once we put those 2 together, notice where our points are. That is our shoulder. You see where the shoulder is? That is the shoulder, but our points are right here. So let's put 2 pins there. So that's 1. Let's take out the other one, and that's the other one. So now that we have our shirt and our top and our, let me show you what I was talking about. See, notice that's the shoulder, but our pins are before the shoulder, about a 1/2 inch, give or take. Now we are going to take our band and we're going to attach it to top. So we're going to begin at the back. Just take out 1 pin and put that same pin, and then we'll go to our next point, and we are going to put a pin there, and then we will go to our next point and we will pin there. So just take out 1 pin and put it right back in, and then we're going to move to our last point, and we are going to put a pin there. So you should have your top, your neckband pin to your top in 4 places. I'm going to sew that now, and then when I come back, I will show you the next step. Pins out as you go. And we're stitching at a 1/2 inch, same allowance. So just stretch your band as you go, not the top, the band. Okay, now we are almost done. I'm going to trim this down to a 1/4 inch, and then when I do that, I'm going to top stitch on the right side of my fabric, very close, or a 1/4 inch away from the seam. I come back, we'll do our final touches, and then our garment will be done. When you're hemming your sleeve, you're going to turn over a 1/2 inch, and then a 1/2 inch again, and then you will pin that. And then for the hem, you are going to do the exact same thing. Fold over a 1/2 inch, and then you are going to fold over a 1/2 inch again, and then you will pin, and you will sew very close to the edge. So when I come back, I will show you the final garment. So go finish yours, and then meet me back here for the reveal. And ta-da! Just like that, we have created a very stylish top. Wasn't that easy? At least to me it was easy. So this is the top that we would have made from the same basic dartless basic bodice pattern that was created in a few videos back. And for this top, I used this white fabric, and I had this scrap double brush poly, and I just decided to add it to the neckband and the sleeves just to make it a little bit more interesting, because it's a very plain, simple top. But sometimes you just need to make a simple top, especially if you are in a sewing rut. This is the front, and this is the back. And that's it. So if you want to see more super simple sewing tutorials like this one, let me know down in the comment section below this video. I will see you in my next video. Be blessed. Bye.